All right, everybody, I've been hearing some stuff saying that heavy-handed is bugged, and we're going to be testing all of the melees with Charge with Light with heavy-handed equipped. First up is the Hunter. Now, first, we're on stasis. You'll see that I am Charge with Light ×2, and apparently some stasis melee. All right, so we have our heavy-handed here. We have our two Charge with Light stacks, and apparently what's going on, or at least what I'm hearing, is that heavy-handed is not proccing with some melees when you are at 2 stacks of Charge with Light. We are on stasis. Let's go ahead and just throw our 2 shurikens. You'll see heavy-handed does indeed proc. Now we'll move to the first arc melee for the Hunter. We're going to do Disorienting Blow first. We have our Charge with Light stacks, and this is going to be our helmet that has heavy-handed for our Hunter, so we never take it off. Let's go ahead. Let's just go right up here, punch one of these phalanxes. Hopefully we don't get sent flying to the next zip code near us. Bink! And as you can see, heavy-handed does indeed proc. All right, we have our next melee at the ready, Combination Blow. As you can see, once again, we still have our heavy-handed helmet. We have our 2 stacks of Charge with Light. Let's go ahead, punch one of these Cabal, square dumb in their stupid face. You'll see heavy-handed does proc for that one. All right, first melee for the Solar Hunter, we're going to be using the Proximity Explosive Knife. We have our heavy-handed. We have our 2 charge of stacks with light. And let's go ahead, yoink, I missed. And as you can see, it's still proc heavy-handed. All right, our next melee for the Hunter is going to be the lightweight knife. And we do have our heavy-handed. We have our 2 stacks of charge with light. And I'm just going to yeet this bitch off the map. You'll see that it does proc heavy-handed. Our next melee for the Hunter is going to be the weighted throwing knife. As you can see, we have our heavy-handed helmet on. We have our 2 stacks of charge with light. I'm just going to eat this bitch off the map, and you'll see that it does indeed proc heavy-handed. And last but not least, we're going to be using the knife trick melee for the Hunter next, and then we have our heavy-handed. This will be the last one for the Solar Hunter. As you can see, we have our 2 stacks of charge with light. Let's go ahead and eat these knives. You'll see that it does indeed proc heavy-handed. All right, we are now on the good old Void Hunter, and as you can see, we still have our heavy-handed helmets. We do have our stacks of charge with light at the bottom left hand. Let's go ahead and eat this smoke bomb. Yurt! And then you can see it does indeed proc heavy-handed. If you are a Hunter main, fear not, heavy-handed works with literally every single melee. Okay, so we're on our Titan. We have our heavy-handed helmets. We do have, we're going to be testing Void first, and the first melee we're going to do is Shield Bash. I'm going to let you guys know right now, right off the rip, Shield Bash, yeah, it 1000% works, because there's be no way you could solo Golgoroth right now if heavy-handed was bugged, because heavy-handed and Echo Provisions is a key point in how you get your melee back, right? All right, we have our Shield Bash. Let's go ahead and just boom! And you'll see that we get our melee back, half of it back. Heavy-handed obviously procs. Very, very good. You love to see it, right? All right, next up, we're going to do our good old shield bash. So let's just yoink it at those bitches right there. And you'll see that we almost have our shield back because heavy-handed procs yet again. Yeah, heavy-handed procs on all of the Void Titan melees. As you can see, we'll do it one more time for good measure. Bottom left-hand corner, bada bing, bada boom. Our shield bash does come back up. You love to see it. All right, and now we have our Arc Titan. We're going to go ahead and use good old classic shoulder charge. Boom! You'll see that it does indeed proc. All right, and one more time for good measure, we charge with light. We have our heavy-handed helmet on. Let's just go ahead and hit him with the good old classic. And yeah, we get 50% of our melee right back. Now we are going to do good old, where is it at? Yeah, Ballistic Slam. Now, I'm going to let you know right now, Ballistic Slam, yeah, this one's a little bit bugged, homie. Just a little bit on the bug side. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So you can see that I am charged with light, right? I got 2 stacks. We have our heavy-handed helmet on. It ain't coming off. I promise you that. So I'm just going to go run into these ads, and I'm just going to hit them with the good old downtown underground from up top. Skadoosh! And you'll see heavy-handed does not proc. Interesting. One more time for good measure. Charge with light ×2. Ballistic Slam on these motherfuckers. And it does not come back at all. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. You hate to see it, man. You really do. All right, and now for science, we have just 1 stack of charge with light, and I'm going to go ahead and use my Ballistic Slam here. And it just doesn't proc at all. Oh, what? Procs on 1, but not on 2, huh? All right, and now we're going to go ahead and use a Solar Titan. Yeet. Yeah, it works with, like, it's arguably, like, the most useless, I guess, one for where heavy-handed would be least useful would be obviously the Solar Titan throwing hammer. Duh. All right, and now we'll try the other Solar Titan melee, the non-throwing hammer, the Igneous Strike. And it does work. It does work. Can't confirm. It does work. Once again, bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Bada bing. Here we go. Bink. And yes, it does indeed work with the stasis melee for the Titan as well. Now, let's go ahead. Head over to the Warlocks. All right, we are on our Warlock. We do have our freaking, where is it? Oh yeah, our heavy-handed Bond. We're on the Arc. We do have our 2 stacks of charge with light. We're gonna do the normal melee first before we do the ball lightning. So let's just shoot this bitch at him. you'll see that it does go ahead and proc heavy-handed. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, we got our arc stack. All right, we got our charge with light back. We got our melee. Let's go ahead and yerk, and you'll see it does not proc heavy-handed. All right, so now we only have one stack of charge with light. We're gonna go ahead and try the same thing. Yerk. Doesn't proc. Oh wait, what? Yeah, it kind of does. That is really weird. All right, we're gonna go ahead and try it again. We have our one singular stack of charge with light. Let's just go ahead and like slide into him like this, and then yeah, that is really weird. That is really weird. It doesn't work with two, but it works with one. So if you're using the ball lightning while you're amplified sliding and shit on the Warlock, go ahead. So yeah, if you're using the ball lightning melee, especially like when you're like, you know, sliding on the Warlock and shit like that while you're amplified, yeah, if you want to proc heavy-handed, you can only have one stack of charge with light. That is kind of weird. I guess we'll go ahead and do the chain lightning melee next. All right, now we'll just do the normal melee, like no running, no sliding, nothing. So we'll just do that. It does proc, okay? It does proc heavy-handed just like the normal melee. All right, we got our charge with light stacks. We got our melee back, and now I just want to, you know, just to see if it does work. Okay, yeah, so normal melees definitely work with like being stacked with charge with light ×2 with your heavy-handed. It will proc heavy-handed, but the only one that won't on the Arc Warlock is going to be the sliding one when you have the lightning surge arc aspect on, right? All right, we got our charge with light stacks. We got our heavy-handed. Let's just shoot out our melee. Get fucked, nerd. Bink. As you can see, our melee does come back. Stasis Warlock melee is all good to go. Stasis on all three, as a matter of fact, is good to go. All right, we got our charge with light stacks. We got our heavy-handed. Let's just shoot our Celestial Fire, and you can see heavy-handed does indeed proc it. All right, we got our charge with light stacks again ×2. This time we're going to use the Incinerator Snap. Let's just go ahead, yerk, snap it on them, and you'll see that it does indeed proc heavy-handed. And last but not least, we have our Pocket Singularity for the good old Voidlock. We do have our stacks of lights. We do have our heavy-handed. Let's just go ahead and shoot it at them, little mini Kamehameha, and as you can see, it does indeed proc heavy-handed. So in summary, heavy-handed is, I guess, technically bugged, but literally only for like 2 melees, right? The sliding amp melee that you get on the Arc Warlock, and then the ballistic slam for the Titan. That is the only 2 melees in the entire game that heavy-handed does not proc, but heavy-handed does proc if you're only at charged with light stacks ×1 with the chain lightning, the ball lightning, the sliding amp lightning on the Warlock, and then ballistic slam is just there, bruh. Other than that though, bruh, heavy-handed is working like a dream. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe for more content.